Christissimus non nostre, peregrinari pro Christo. 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 I chanted repeatedly as I walked in the dark on my last day towards Agoo. I had been walking for days and sleeping wherever darkness caught me. During the spiritual year, the first year of formation, it has become a tradition for Columban seminarians to go on pilgrimage either from Malolos, Bulacan to Manawag, Pangasinan, or from Apalit, Pampanga to Agoo, La Union. Without money, we ask for food and water from the people we meet on our way. At night, we also ask around for a place to sleep. We tell people we are on pilgrimage and don't disclose that we are seminarians unless they ask who we really are. The pilgrimage has always been optional. Each of us decides if we will make it or not. We were the sixth batch to go on the pilgrimage. My first 2 days were with Etuate, a Fijian Columban seminarian who walked with me from Apalit, Pampanga to Herona, Tarlac. On our first night, we slept at a barangay outpost along the road in Mabalacat, Pampanga. While walking, I was wondering why I was making this pilgrimage. Etu was thinking the same thing. On our second night, we reached Tarlac City. We were glad to see any church along the way because we thought it the best place to find rest, water, and maybe even food. We came upon Santo Cristo Parish Church. It was closed, but we tried to find a way. A priest came out and asked us where we were from. We were tired and covered with dust. We filled ourselves with the food he gave us and chatted with him before heading off to look for a place to spend the night. We came upon another church, but we were told that they don't allow people to sleep within the compound or inside the church. Disappointed and quite saddened, we left the church and headed off towards the center of the city. Etu was dragging himself because of his painful ankles, and I told him to sit while I asked around. I was directed to the barangay hall and we went there. The people there were very concerned and allowed us to stay in a small covered area. Despite the mosquitoes, Etu slept while I tried to fend them off all through the night. We started walking at around 2 a.m. and Etu was having a hard time walking. The wound between his thighs and the pain in his ankles worsened. Walking slowly, we finally reached the expiatory chapel at Herona, Tarlac. Etu decided not to continue, and I went back with him to Tarlac City so he could take a bus. I was now alone, and I felt some hesitation as to whether I could make it on my own. I continued walking, resting for a few minutes from time to time. I could see a very long road ahead on this very hot afternoon. I came upon a carinderia and asked a boy for water. Another boy approached me and said that they had seen me walking from afar. They asked me questions and gave me another bottle of water as I headed for the town of San Manuel when it was already getting dark. I felt a bit scared because I could not find a house to stay for the night. I came upon a karaoke house and asked the old man there if I could stay for that night. His son was uncertain and told me that I could not stay because they had clients coming in for the night. I was already very tired and begged him to allow me to stay. He felt sorry for me and allowed me to stay. They were about to have supper and they invited me to join them. I had a good meal and soon slept. The following day, before leaving around 2 a.m., I left a note thanking. The road was very dark and I was very scared. Dogs barked at me and speeding buses and cars passed me by. It was my first time to pray the rosary repeatedly for hours while walking. Finally reaching Poso Robio, Pangasinan around 3 p.m., I started looking for a place to spend the night because I didn't want to be in the same situation as in San Manuel. I looked for the church went inside and rested. I then went to the parish office, but I was told to wait. A priest came, but seemed to be on his way to an event. I approached him and told him I needed a place to sleep. He said he could not decide because the parish priest was not around and he believed that he would not allow me. He didn't even bother to ask where I am from, but directed me to the municipal hall. I thanked him and walked away. I was very disappointed and angry. I was very tired and feverish. I decided to walk to the next town, Season, but after a few minutes, I really felt like collapsing. I went to the police station and asked if I could spend the night there. The policeman had seen me walking from the church and asked where I was heading. He interrogated me and asked for identification. The policeman provided me with a place to sleep and I was able to eat a full meal. That experience changed how I perceived policemen. They were the most understanding and approachable people I met during the pilgrimage. I left the police station around 1:30 a.m. Looking at the map, I thought to myself it would be a short walk. So I started walking quite fast. I could not wait to reach Agoo. By the time I was in the Mortis Santo Tomas, I was already exhausted but continued walking under the heat of the sun. I finally came upon the welcoming arch of Agoo, then a roadside marker that said Agoo was 4 kilometers more. But I paced myself now. I could not wait to get to the church, but my knees were shaking, my ankles trembling with pain, and my back hurting from carrying a heavy load. My steps were becoming shorter, and it took so much energy to make each one. Finally, around the bend, I saw the Basilica of Our Lady of Charity. Like a child running towards his mother, I immediately went into the church and found myself right in front of the altar, kneeling and crying. I could not believe I had made it after everything I've gone through the last 5 days, walking what seemed to be an endless road.